In a nation that prides itself on innovation, Americans have fallen behind with sunscreen. While beachgoers across the globe enjoy cutting-edge sun protection, Americans are stuck in the past with fewer options and inferior ingredients. The explanation isn't science or safety. It's a web of bureaucracy and corporate influence that's left American skin vulnerable for years. This is the untold story of why your sunscreen isn't protecting you the way it should. Sunscreens serve a critical purpose. They shield our skin from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. But not all UV radiation is created equal. There are two main types we need protection from: UVB rays, which cause painful sunburns on the surface, and UVA rays, which penetrate deeper into the skin, causing invisible damage that leads to premature aging and potentially skin cancer. An effective sunscreen must block both. The SPF number you see on every bottle? That only measures UVB protection, the sunburn shield. But what about those insidious UVA rays that silently damage your skin at the cellular level? That's where American sunscreens fall dramatically short. When dermatologists and skin scientists compare American sunscreens to their European and Asian counterparts, the difference is striking. Overseas formulations provide significantly better protection against a full spectrum of ultraviolet radiation, particularly those dangerous UVA rays. Tests consistently show that European and Asian sunscreens outperform American versions in UVA protection, sometimes by substantial margins. The difference between American and Korean sunscreens isn't just about protection, it's about the entire sensory experience. When you apply a typical Korean sunscreen, the difference is immediate. What glides onto your skin feels more like a luxurious skincare serum than traditional sun protection. The lightweight, almost water-like texture disappears instantly, leaving no sticky residue, no greasy film, and absolutely none of that distinctive sunscreen smell that triggers memories of childhood beach trips. There's no dreaded white cast that makes your complexion appear ghostly, no pore-clogging heaviness that triggers breakouts, and no greasy shine that ruins carefully applied makeup. Instead, these formulations often leave a natural, healthy finish, sometimes with a subtle dewiness that enhances your skin's appearance. Korean brands understand that sunscreen efficacy ultimately depends on reapplication, so they've purposefully created formulations that feel genuinely pleasurable to apply throughout the day. Many can even replace your daytime moisturizer, simplifying your routine while providing superior protection. Enhanced protection and improved sensory experience aren't just Korean. Other countries in Europe and Asia are using what are called chemical filters to create this experience. These ingredients have been used safely for decades across multiple continents, thoroughly tested and refined to offer superior protection. The most notable of these ingredients is bemotrizinol, sometimes called Tinosorb S. This powerhouse UV filter has become the foundation of nearly all European and Asian sunscreens, including popular brands like Beauty of Joseon from South Korea and Biore from Japan. What makes bemotrizinol so special is its exceptional ability to block both UVB and UVA rays, providing the comprehensive protection that American sunscreens simply cannot match. Because of restrictions on innovation in America, there's a push towards physical sunscreen over chemical, promoting ingredients like zinc oxide over bemotrizinol. The consequences of this protection gap are serious. Every hour, at least 2 Americans die from skin cancer. While treatment success rates are high, prevention is far better than treatment. And prevention requires effective protection against both UVB and UVA rays. The situation has become so dire that many Americans now import their sunscreens from overseas despite the risk of counterfeit products. They're willing to take this chance because the evidence is clear. Foreign sunscreens offer broader protection against a full spectrum of dangerous UV radiation. So if these superior sunscreen ingredients exist and have been safely used by millions of people worldwide for decades, what's stopping Americans from having access to them? The answer reveals a frustrating reality about how America regulates sunscreen compared to the rest of the world. In the United States, sunscreen is classified and regulated as an over-the-counter drug, not as a cosmetic. This classification, which has been in place since 1978, subjects sunscreen ingredients to pharmaceutical-level scrutiny. Meanwhile, across Europe, Japan, and South Korea, sunscreens are regulated as cosmetics, allowing for more innovation while maintaining safety standards. This single regulatory difference creates a cascade of obstacles that has effectively frozen American sunscreen technology for decades. The last time a new UV filter was approved in the United States was 1999, nearly a quarter century ago. During that same period, other countries have continued to innovate, approve new ingredients, and improve their sun protection formulas. The approval process for new sunscreen ingredients in America is so burdensome that even major international companies have largely abandoned efforts to bring their advanced formulations to the American market. Take L'Oreal, for example. This French cosmetics giant chose an entirely separate authorization pathway to get just one of its sunscreen ingredients into the US market in 2006. But this alternative route meant the ingredient could only appear in a few specific beauty products, not in general sunscreens. The hurdles don't end there. American regulations require extensive human clinical data and animal testing for new sunscreen ingredients. This creates an impossible situation for European manufacturers, who operate under EU regulations that ban animal testing for cosmetics, including sunscreens. Companies are understandably reluctant to conduct additional animal tests solely for the US market, when such testing could trigger consumer backlash in their primary European markets. Even when companies are willing to navigate this complex process, the costs are prohibitive. One company has spent the past 20 years and $18 million trying to get a single ingredient, bemotrizinol, approved in the United States. This same ingredient has been safely used in European and Asian sunscreens for decades. Congress has noticed the problem. In 2014, they passed legislation attempting to expedite approval for sunscreen ingredients with established safety records abroad. Despite this legislative push, progress has been virtually non-existent. Manufacturers have submitted 8 new active ingredients for consideration, but none has satisfied the additional data requirements requested by American regulators. The irony in all this? While American regulations are supposedly more stringent to ensure safety, studies of European sunscreen ingredients show very little dermal absorption, minimal skin allergies, and no evidence of harm to consumers. In fact, European standards for UVA protection are actually more robust than American standards. To put this in perspective, in Europe, there are 29 approved UV filters available to sunscreen manufacturers. The United States has just 16. For UVA protection specifically, the rays that penetrate deeper into skin and cause premature aging and cancer, Europe has 9 approved filters, while America has just 4. The result is a bizarre reality where Americans living in one of the most technologically advanced nations are unable to access superior sun protection that's readily available in dozens of countries around the world, all because of regulations created in a different era for different purposes. The sunscreen divide between America and the rest of the world represents more than just regulatory differences. It's a public health issue hiding in plain sight. While Americans wait for bureaucracy to catch up with science, the rest of the world enjoys superior protection in formulations that people actually want to use. The good news? Change may finally be on the horizon as bipartisan efforts push for regulatory reform. Until then, Americans will continue searching for ways to access better sunscreens from abroad, hoping that someday soon, they won't have to choose between effective protection and products they actually enjoy using. The sunlight we share is universal. Shouldn't our protection be too?